That title's not a lie. I bought a building. Before we take a look at the building itself, I wanted to say a big thank you to you all out there for watching my videos and the content that I produce across all the different social media channels here, or purchasing things that I've produced. I cannot and could not have done this without your continued support over the past good number of years that I've been at this. And initially here, I wanted to make this video, I was gonna title it something a little bit more clickbaity called Saying Goodbye. And really it was all about saying goodbye to this studio space here that I had been recording in for a very long time now. And this space has evolved. I've pretty much taken over the entire basement in our house. And it's got 3D printers everywhere, it's got projects everywhere, it's constantly an absolute disaster. There's no room for guests to come over and stay, or in-laws or anything like that. And exactly 1 year ago today, I left my full-time career day job that I had been at for over 15 years, that I was very good at, that I thoroughly enjoyed and was passionate about. However, I had this other thing that I had been doing on the side that had started off very small and had grown and grown and grown and turned into this huge opportunity that I was so close to being able to go to the next step, to take it to the next level, and I just needed to take that big leap. And in late 2020, I had a very lengthy call with Joel Telling, the 3D printing nerd, about his transition to making content creation his full-time career. And it really, it didn't deter me at all. If anything, it just inspired me more to go after this. And sure enough, at the end of February of last year in 2021, I took that leap and have been so happy that I made that leap and jump into all of this and have been able to crank out so much more content than I normally have in the past and have seen growth with it. And it's been rewarding. And I have to say, I could not have done this without some amazing partnerships along the way, like the big one here that you've probably seen throughout a lot of my videos, which is Elegu. They have been so supportive of me making basically any content that I'm interested in making, and they'll just supply the projects and tools for me to actually pull off some of those projects. And it's been such a wild, amazing partnership, and have been so thankful that I have been able to work with them over the past year. I also got to set up a partnership with Andrew Sink, where we created a Resinlapse cables that allow you to create your time lapses of your resin 3D prints. And I've been so impressed and happy with the success of this project that we thought might have a little bit of people interested in it, and come to find out lots of you are very interested in capturing time lapses of your 3D prints. And I was also able to work with a number of other brands out there on different projects, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that will continue on, because that helps fund me to be able to make other wild and crazy projects. And basically, at the end of the day, what's come down to it is I've just run out of space. Flat out, I've run out of space. I don't have enough room for more printers or more machines or to take on new projects. Yeah, it's just insane. I took on a storage unit and was able to fill that up with a whole bunch of stuff, and now have emptied that out into the new building, which has been a great way to consolidate down some of the things that I've had. But it's also holding me back not having a larger space to be able to work on some of these other larger projects that I've really wanted to jump in and try out. So with that said, let's take a look at the new studio. So this is amazing. I am absolutely loving this space. This room right here is already at least as big as my current studio space plus another room. It's wild, absolutely wild. I'm already thinking this room, I'm not even gonna have printers in this room. This is gonna be more for me to film the talking head type stuff here. I might put a table over here similar to my current setup, set up something of a new backdrop here, not entirely sure what. There's lots and lots of possibilities. As you can see, there's lots of drywall work that you're gonna see going on throughout the space as I'm giving this little mini tour here. and it's just, oh, I'm absolutely loving it. Got a really nice big window for some additional light in here. We also have some bathrooms, which are critical, but we also have some office space. So I'll be more than likely setting up a desk and doing most of my video editing and maybe even some recording here in this office space. And then this one, I'm not entirely sure what I'll be using for just yet on this. Maybe my kids will use this for a little study homework area for after school. And then we have this huge room here. This is the room that sold me on this building. There is so much space available here for me to do different projects, run lots and lots of 3D printers in here, set up woodworking stations, maybe laser cutting, you name it. I'll be able to now have a much larger workshop area to build and create some massive new things. I also went ahead and set up this is just a mock-up. I just wanted to see what it might look like with some storage shelves set up in here. So I've set up just a few of them here. They're not even fully assembled. They're definitely not what height they need to be at for different printers, but I just wanted to see how many I could fit potentially on this one wall. And in fact, I should be able to put a fourth one here, which will be incredible. Should be able to have lots and lots of FDM and Resin 3D printers up in this one location. There's also lots of lighting in this room and throughout the building here. However, I'm not a huge fan of these office type lights, so I'll more than likely be looking at swapping these out for some cool LEDs or at least adjustable LED lights here for the ceiling lights. And across every single room, you're gonna see lots of drywall repair work that I've been working on here. And it's just a never ending process of patching and sanding in prep for painting these rooms. And you'll also notice here, this previously was filled wall to wall with carpet, which is not conducive for 3D printing or working with resin. So went through the process and pain of getting all of the carpet removed from this, including the base trim around the bottom of the drywall of all the carpeting that was there. And now that I've got all the carpet up, I'm not planning on finishing the floor or anything like that, but I did go ahead and order a whole bunch of these rubber / plastic semi-flexible tiles that I'll be laying down here in the studio space. That should really help with some of the echo that we're gonna be having with this huge open room, as well as make it really easy to clean up different projects that I might be working on. On the other side of this room here, I've got a nice oversized door that will help with getting deliveries or packages in and out of the building here, which is fantastic to have access to. And I also have a little kitchen here. Nothing to write home about, but it has a fridge, get some water in there, get some drinks, and it's primarily holding most of my tools that I'm working with here as I'm getting the shop up and running. And if you look closely, I have an Elegu Mars 3 set aside here where I've got my very first set of 3D prints that we're gonna run in the building. And while this is printing, I wanted to take a minute to say thank you again to Elegu for yet again sponsoring another video here. I printed this model from FotisMint here on the Elegu Mars 3 in this custom made Elegu gray resin by mixing a little bit of purple alcohol ink with their gray resin, and it looks spectacular. The level of detail that you're able to get off of the Elegu Mars 3 is one of the biggest reasons why I am such a fan of that machine. Not to mention, it also prints extremely fast compared to some of the other Resin 3D printers that are out there on the market. If you're interested in more information about any of Elgu's products, you'll again find links to those down below. And this has just been an absolutely wild process, and I am so excited to be sharing it with you all. I also want to say a big thank you to all my Patreon supporters for your continued support. I've been sharing some videos of the behind the scenes of the building progress here with my Patreon supporters. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, along with things like my Resin 3D printer settings, you can find that within my Patreon. But I am just so excited about this space. I can't stop reiterating that. I get so thrilled every time I step foot in here, and I cannot wait to get this place transformed and fully up and running with just a fleet of 3D printers and other cool projects that we can build here in this space. And thanks so much for sharing this experience with me. I gotta get back to work. Somebody's gotta get these walls painted. And thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye now.